Good evening, folks. Welcome to our meeting tonight. Our proposed rezoning. Call our meeting to order. Any conflict of interest declarations? Being none. Gentlemen from Plan 360. Have your presentation, please.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, members of council. My name is Caleb Babin. I'm here with Phil Robichaud to present a zoning request by 681884 NB Limited for a quarry on Shenstone Road. The outcome of this item is to determine whether council wishes to approve, alter, or postpone or deny the request. Our role as staff includes ensuring rural land policies are respected, provide professional advice, and present recommendations, including presenting this proposal. We are here to listen to citizens and any comments regarding the proposal. The proposal is to rezone PIDs 05123070 and 006179969 from rural area to the intensive resource development zone to permit a quarry. To situate ourselves, the properties in question are located along Route 910. The two parcels lie inland between Hillsborough and Riverside, Alberta. Route 910, which connects with Shenstone Road, provides direct access northward towards Moncton and Riverview. Here is a closer view. The subject lands are situated along Shenstone Road in the rural communities of Baltimore and Shenstone. I have outlined the parcels subject to the rezoning in red. In addition, a parcel hosting a NAV Canada radar is approximately 325 meters from the parcel boundaries of the subject lands. NAV Canada will be upgrading its radars from the west coast to the east coast, all radars being upgraded by 2028. Here is a view of the terrain. The quarry is situated in the valley between Caledonia Mountain and Solomon Hill. The site is visually buffered by surrounding forests and mountains. However, it is partially visible looking east from Route 910. The property falls under the scope of the Westmoreland Alberta Rural Plan, a rural plan adopted by the province prior to the municipal reform. The current zoning is rural area, the most common zoning in the municipality. To the west, there is additionally a large area zoned water protection which overlaps with a small section of the subject lands. The Westmoreland Alberta Rural Plan contains specific policies for natural resources and quarries. While natural resources are key drivers of the rural economy, they can conflict with other land uses. To address this, the plan designates an intensive resource development zone applied on a case-by-case basis exclusively to properties with existing quarries or intensive uses. New quarries are not permitted without a rezoning, and the plan includes conditions to ensure that resource extraction does not interfere with residential or conservation areas. Quarry-derived concerns are addressed through the approval to operate and rock quarry siting standards, such as setbacks, impacts on wells, and dust. The purpose of the rezoning is to assess whether the location is suitable, compatible with surrounding uses, and in the public interest. So just some context, during a site visit conducted on June 12th, staff observed that the site had been active for some time. This was further supported by satellite imagery, which suggests development has been occurring since late 2023. On July 21st, we issued an order to comply, requiring all operations to cease by August 4th, unless valid permits were obtained. Following a subsequent site visit, we confirmed that all activities had stopped. Here is a site plan presented by the applicant with coordinates of the quarry boundary delineated. The rock face used for extraction and the stockpile may be seen on the eastern portion of the site in red. Distances to residences, water courses, and the water protection zone are also marked. On June 6, 2025, Cindy Lee, representing 681884 New Brunswick Limited, contacted staff regarding a rezoning to a rock quarry. The formal application was submitted June 14th, 2025, which confirmed a mobile crusher would operate on site with 15 to 20 truck trips per day. Blasting would occur between once and twice a year, and no asphalt plant or permanent structures are proposed. Here are the two access points. The northern access leaves the Shenstone Road unimpeded. The applicant has applied for an access permit to Route 910. The southern access point would be used to access a higher portion of the property. Here is Shenstone Road viewed from Route 910. The public non-maintained road was widened by the applicant. Here is a southern access point from Caledonia Mountain Road. This is the trucking activity on the widened section of Shenstone Road, observed June 12th. Here are the subject lands and quarry activity viewed from Shenstone Road. Here's the western extraction area viewed from Shenstone Road on June 12th. And here's the same area viewed August 5th, with rock appeared to have been extracted prior to work stopping. And finally, here's the quarry viewed from Route 910, looking northward. Several provincial departments have reviewed the project. The Department of Environment identified potential wetlands requiring buffers, mitigation measures, and formal delineation. The Ministerial Authorizations Branch is still in the process of preparing a ministerial order requiring the company to cease operations. Recently, drones were deployed to verify whether development and blasting activities had occurred on the subject PIDs. And inspectors suspect that the initial blasting took place on PID 05031-745 rather than on PID 00617969. The analysis of this imagery is still underway. However, the branch has indicated no objection to the proposed rezoning. Air Sciences has warned about dust and noise, while Healthy Environments confirmed no well fields are nearby, but reminded us that part of the site is in the Turtle Creek watershed. The Department of Agriculture noted a blueberry farm nearby with some traffic concerns during harvest. Heritage had no concerns, but reminded us of the stop work requirement if artifacts are found. Finally, DTI noted that Shenstone Road is public, but not maintained, so no access permits can be issued there. The access permit would instead be issued for Route 910, where sightlines are confirmed to be acceptable. On Route 910, Osborne Corner Road and Caledonia Mountain Road, where the maximum gross vehicle road weight rating is 43,500 kilograms, while heavy trucking has damaged the chip seal, leading to a 60% weight limits in spring and occasional closures, even in summer. For the Caledonia Mountain Road access, sightlines are acceptable on one side, but too short on the other due to a sharp corner. There is no valid access permit on record, and at its current location, it would not meet standards for a commercial entrance. The proponent would be required to move their access to meet requirements. NAV Canada also provided comments. They are a private non-profit corporation under federal regulation. The site is very close to a radar installation, critical for aeronautical safety. They were initially concerned, but lifted their objection July 29th with conditions that the proponent must cover any blast damage to the radar, give advanced blasting alerts to the Moncton Technical Operations Coordinator, and coordinate before blasting so that the radar may be monitored. This conditional acceptance is valid for 18 months and only relates to the air navigation system. Mailouts were sent to properties within a 100-meter buffer of the subject parcels, and a single letter of objection was received. We prepared a bylaw for the rezoning. It'll be the second rezoning in Fundy Albert under the Westmoreland Albert Rural Plan in 2025. And it'll be the first rezoning to the intensive resource development zone. So some discussion points as identified by the Westmoreland Albert Rural Plan: forestry, quarries, farming and tourism are the foundation of a rural economy. The Caledonia Highlands reflect this mixed landscape where resource extraction and recreation coexist. Aggregate extraction is strategic. Stone and gravel needed for roads and infrastructure, and the site's proximity to Moncton, Riverview, and Dieppe lowers transportation costs and environmental impacts. Quarries also support jobs, trucking, and tax revenues, and is a resilient supply chain during peak construction. The rural plan recognizes resource industries as the main use here, although conflicts can occur near homes. In this case, the quarry is about 700 meters from the nearest dwelling, with blasting only occurring once or twice a year, so impacts are expected to be minimal. Surrounded by similar uses and with conditions addressing impacts to the environment and infrastructure, the quarry can operate in line with the rural plan and the provincial standards. So in terms of where we are at the process, we are here at the public hearing. Depending on council's decision, the earliest the last reading could occur is in early October. The Southeast Planning Review and Adjustment Committee recommends the Fundy Albert Council to adopt bylaw number 25 WAT 069 FA2, which aims to rezone the property bearing the identification numbers 05123070 and 00617969 in Fundy Albert from the rural zone, a rural area zone, pardon, to the intensive resource development zone to permit a quarry. Subject to the following conditions: that the permitted uses be limited to a quarry, that a delineation report by a wetland consultant for the purposes of the census and delineation of wetlands be submitted. The delineation must be reviewed by the DELG's authorizations branch and the watercourse and wetland alteration branch prior to a development permit being issued. C, an approval to operate under the rock quarry siting standards must be obtained from the Department of Environment and Local Government prior to a development permit being issued. And D, access permits for Caledonia Mountain Road and Route 910 must be obtained from the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure prior to a development permit being issued. Finally, here are council's options. All legal requirements through the Community Planning Act will be satisfied after the public hearing, and council may decide to pursue with the adoption of the rezoning. Council's options are to: 1, accept the order as recommended by the Southeast Planning Review Committee; 2, accept the bylaw but modify, add, and or remove conditions; 3, postpone and request additional information; and 4, deny the request. I believe we have one letter that needs to be read.
So I received a letter this morning regarding partial rezoning Shenstone Road, Fundy Albert, PID 006179669 and PID 05227070 from rural area to intensive resource development. This is from William and Cheryl Shannon. As owners of neighboring property PID 050-34491 on Caledonia Road, we object to this rezoning application because it includes a buffer zone of 300 meters on our property, which interferes with the use and enjoyment of our property. This buffer zone would include a clear spring of good water. We wish to appoint Danny Shannon, brother of William, as our spokesman at the public meeting hearing for the rezoning application on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the municipal office, Hillsborough, New Brunswick. Yours truly, William Shannon.
Okay, I'd like to know more about this buffer zone. It's not, it's when they marked it out, it's on everyone's land. Is the buffer zone gonna take in private property? Or is it all gonna be on their land?
Do you mean the buffer from the wetlands? Or,
They get,
oh, it's the mail out buffer. Oh, so yes, that is our 100-meter mail out zone. So, whenever there's a rezoning, we will mail out to all the neighboring properties within.
but are they gonna take it off the private land, or is it gonna be on this side there? Or,
Oh, that is just to show,
okay, yeah,
the properties, why you were being sent the letter. It shows that you are within 100 meters of the neighboring property that is being rezoned.
so they're not gonna do anything on private land.
There should be no alterations to your land. It's just to,
So the buffer zone is all
On them,
on that.
that's all I wanna know.
it's just consultation.
But as far as blasting twice a year, you know, you put that on paper. But they're gonna blast what they need. Whenever, so, that's, whatever the demand is, that's what's gonna happen, but. It's not my concern, cause it's on their ground, that's all I wanna know.
So the 30-meter buffer is on the land, on their PIDs.
Yeah, that's right. If I hadn't known that on this paper, I never come here.
No.
Well, no.
That's all right. Head of council.
No,
No, that's okay. That's what these meetings are for.
And I've showed it to other people who do know, when they said that's not very well described.
But it's within 100 meters. So that the letter can be mailed out.
Yeah, well, that's whatever legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a 100-meter zone that we
Yeah.
send a letter out, or we don't, Plan Tree.
I'm no opposition to this at all, you know, no.
I just wanna
find what
you want clarity, that's all.
That's all.
You wanna understand.
Peter,
can I go home now?
Yeah. But I have to ask you a question. Like Caledonia is gonna be the place for rock in this end of the country. Mark it down, I'm talking.
Yeah, but
I know that because I'm in the business. And how many rock quarries will they allow in there? Every mile or every 5 miles? I mean, this is something for you people to think about in the future, to decide what you're gonna do in there. Understand? 'Cause this is a long haul thing, it's not just 1 year.
no.
And what is gonna come out of this if there's 10 in there? You know, the environment, the whole thing, there's so much to think about when you're doing this stuff. Not just today, leave it and gone and what's gonna be left behind when they do run out of rock.
Hole in the ground.
Hole in the ground, okay. I'm going home. Thank you.
I've been around for a while.
I've been working with this guy for 25 or 30 years and I grew up with him, so. He usually straightens me out, so thank
No.
you. know,
Just,
you got a big
gotta
job
work
to
with the
do.
facts, Danny.
We'll see y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Lynn, how are you?
Okay, comments?
That is all, please.
questions from council?
It's pretty straightforward.
Everything's straightforward.
I just have one question, Mayor, if I may, to Plan 360. So are you aware of the activity still happening at the site? Or is that, you said there's drones to be determined, but are
We
you
have,
of the opinion that there's activity still happening?
we have not visited since August fifth,
Okay.
so whatever happened between now and then, we have no idea. That is, our last site visit was August fifth,
Okay.
that's all we know.
I was in there on Sunday and there hasn't been any in a while anyways. And all the equipment is moved out of the end of Stone Road except for a roller that's in there. And that was there 3 weeks ago when I was in there too.
Okay.
And the lady shaking her head, yes.
Yeah, we haven't done anything.
No. Okay, that it? That concludes this meeting.